Good morning, it's Rachel. So for today's video, I'm gonna do a little experiment. I have to admit that I still don't have my emotional eating under control, even though I went out and I bought all those healthy groceries. Yesterday, I let my emotions get the better of me and ate chocolate through the whole day, which then just totally skydove when I bought a Twix bar. And I haven't bought a Twix bar in a really long time. So I realized that if I'm going to get my emotional eating under control, then I have to get my emotions under control. So for today's kind of healthy habit, it's to be more aware of when you feel the urge to binge or you feel the urge to go off diet, just to be more aware of why. And so I'm gonna do a little experiment at work today. Now, I can't bring you guys with me, so I'm just gonna show it to you after I'm finished. But through the whole day, every time I get a craving for a piece of chocolate or just food that I know isn't hunger, I'm gonna write down the time, I'm gonna write down what was going on, and I'm gonna write down the feeling that I have, whether it's stress or loneliness or boredom. But I'm gonna write all that down, and then I'm gonna show you the list, and we're gonna start seeing if I can just be more aware of why I'm binging. Hey, I'm back. So it is 6 p.m. I came home from work, and I have something to share with you guys that I'm kind of excited about. So this morning, like I told you in the first clip, I told you I was going to try an experiment. So as many of you guys know, I have mentioned in the past that I have a problem with emotional eating. Basically, when I feel stressed or tired or upset or bored, I go and I reach for a piece of chocolate or even something healthy, like I'll even reach for an apple, but it doesn't matter what it is. I'm reaching for food because of something that I'm feeling. And I'm very aware of this, and it's something that I've wanted to change. And it's gotten a lot worse since my bikini prep. And I kind of mentioned that in a few of my video, like the first videos of this series, where I had just been eating whatever I wanted and obviously feeling like crap because I was just eating all of this junk food. And I thought I could stop it by going shopping and having, only healthy foods and things like that, but I couldn't. And I realized I couldn't because I have to deal with the emotions first and then deal with the food part. But until I learn how to recognize my emotions and recognize how they're affecting my eating habits, it's never gonna change. And I really wanted to share this with you guys because I know a lot of you have felt the same way I do, or have had situations where you have gotten upset and you have turned to food to make you feel better. And none of us like doing that. So hopefully this will help. So this morning I mentioned that I was going to try a technique, and this was something that I got the idea from the Power of Habit book that I mentioned I had read a couple of videos back. But the Power of Habit said if you're trying to change a bad habit like smoking, to try to figure out what was the cue that causes you to have a smoking craving. And the book suggested to write down what time it was, how are you feeling, what were you doing, who you were with, basically just things that could possibly be a cue causing you to have this bad habit of smoking, and then seeing if you can find a pattern. Well, I thought, let's apply that to emotional eating. So today, I had a piece of paper. Every single time I had a desire to eat something when it wasn't hunger. So it didn't have to be on diet or off diet. That's not what we're talking about. Anytime I wanted to eat food, but not because I was hungry, I was gonna write down what time it was, what I was feeling, what I was doing. So I'm gonna share with you what I wrote down and what I learned about myself, and then hopefully you guys can take this technique and try it for yourself and see if it helps you. Now I've only done this for one day, but I am gonna continue doing this for about a week just to see if anything changes. But just to kind of give you an example of what happened. So at 7 a.m. when I was on the train to work, I was feeling exhausted, just so tired. And I got this thought that, oh, well, I'm really tired, so I need to have an energy drink. Let me get a Monster or a Rockstar or a Red Bull or something like that. Like, I'm just way too tired. I can't have coffee. And then I realized that that was an emotion. It was an emotion of being worried that I was tired, that I wouldn't be able to stay awake at work, and running to the Red Bull without even seeing if coffee might help. And so I wrote it down on this piece of paper. I wrote 7 a.m. and I wrote it down. And I said, okay, and I just went to get coffee, and guess what? I never needed the Red Bull. So then at 8:30, again, wrote it down on the paper, 8:30, I walked by the Office chocolate bowl on the way to the bathroom. I recognized that feeling of, oh, they have the new peanut butter cups. Wait. And I realized, no, you don't need that. And so I wrote it down and I walked away. And so far I was doing okay because it's earlier in the day, and I don't know if you guys feel this way, but earlier in the day, it's a lot easier to have willpower and to say no to things. But as the day progresses, it gets harder and harder because you get tired, and you get tired of saying no to things. So at 12 o'clock, I went into the cafeteria and I saw 4 people eat these chocolate chip cookies that the cafeteria sells. And I love these chocolate chip cookies. And I felt kind of not jealousy, but like, oh, I want one. They have one, I want one. Nope, wrote it down. And then I was eating my salad, and I finished my salad, and I felt an emotion that I hadn't recognized before. So a lot of people will eat because they're upset, or they will eat because they're tired, or they will eat because, you know, they are sad. Well, I finished my salad and I still felt a little bit hungry, and I panicked because I thought, oh, I didn't eat enough. I need to eat more food, and I have to eat it now because I'm going back to work. And what happens if I get hungry in an hour? Then I'm gonna have to stop working and go get something food later, so I might as well eat now. And it was so strong that I went back into the cafeteria and I looked at all the different food options, and I started making all of these little decisions in my head, like, oh, well, you can grab chips. No, chips aren't healthy. Well, you can grab eggs. Those are healthy. Well, eggs I don't really want. I don't feel like eggs. Oh, you could get a yogurt. No, that's dairy. And you know what happens when you eat dairy? You get a fibro flare. Okay, no. And so I grabbed a Kind bar, which had chocolate, and I thought, okay, this is good enough. And as I'm eating the Kind bar, I realize that I want to binge. That, oh, I've already had this piece of chocolate. The day's already ruined. I might as well go to that chocolate bowl now and go get another piece of chocolate because I already had this chocolate and I want more. And I wrote it down. And by writing it down, it made me aware of what was happening. I was afraid of being hungry, and then I got so emotional about what to pick that was healthy or not healthy or good or bad that I completely tired my willpower out to the point that it triggered a binge. So writing it down, I thought, okay, it's triggering a binge. I'm gonna go, and I took a walk, and then it was over and I was fine, and I never binged. But then something really interesting happened. By the time the day was almost finished, something really stressful happened at work and I felt really sad. I didn't know what to do to make me not upset, and I was so upset that it was distracting me from my work. And I thought, if I get a piece of chocolate, that will make me feel better, and then I can go back to work and I can move on and I won't feel sad anymore. And so what did I do? I wrote it down. But this is why I'm going to recommend this technique to you. By writing it down, that was enough to make me feel better. The way that getting a piece of chocolate would typically make me feel better. And it's a way of like not only acknowledging the feeling, but like validating it and saying it's okay and I know that you're upset. And it was more powerful writing it down than just saying it out loud or saying it in my head, you know. Or how many times have you guys felt sad and you think, oh, I'm so sad, I want a piece of chocolate to make me feel better, and you say in your head, no, 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 that's emotional eating, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You never listen to yourself, right? You never do it. You always just say, oh, whatever, like it doesn't matter, I don't care anymore, I just want to feel better. But writing it down was just a lot more powerful than anything else I've tried. Today really was the first day where I felt like I took a step forward in kind of regaining control over the way that I react to my emotions and my emotional eating and things like that. Now, will this work every day? I don't know. I've only tried it once, but I know so many of you guys struggle with the same exact issue that I really wanted to make a video and put this up right away, just to see if it helps any of you guys. And I will be doing this again tomorrow, and like I said, for the next week, just to see. But I highly recommend, if you have issues with emotional eating, if you have issues with binge eating, and you want to try something just to become more aware of it, take a piece of paper with you or get an app on your phone, and every single time you feel a desire to eat something because of an emotion. Now, whether or not you give into that emotion, it doesn't matter. Write it down. Write down the time, write down what you are feeling, and write down why you are feeling it. And I think that if it doesn't work to make you feel better and to stop you from emotional eating, it will at least give you some data to kind of look through and see if you can start finding trends. So maybe you'll realize that you always emotional eat after, you know, X happens, or maybe you'll realize you always emotional eat when you're tired. But picking up on those trends is still going to be enough to help you make positive, healthy changes in your life. So that is it for today. I am going to end this video because it's much longer than it needs to be. But if you guys have any questions about what I did today, please write them in the comments below. If you would prefer that your comments are private, feel free to message me through my Facebook page. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. You can always email me at painfreekitchen@gmail.com. Again, if you would rather talk to me more privately. But I encourage you guys to share your struggles in the comments below so we can all kind of support each other. And if you liked this video or liked this technique, especially if it works for you, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. And I am uploading videos every Monday through Friday in the month of April, hopefully. I'll see you tomorrow, guys.